Why are some of the biggest Western figures suddenly turning to a religion that feels completely foreign to the culture that made them? People raised in completely secular, hyper-capitalist environments, embracing a faith that demands strict discipline and total submission?
I changed my name, I took my shahada, innit, man. I got a new name. Yeah, I'm Muslim. New name.
You could easily brush this off as a PR move, a shock value trend to get people talking. But if you look closely, it's not new. It started decades ago with legends like Cat Stevens, moved to icons like Mike Tyson in the 90s, and now it's hitting Gen Z through artists like Central Cee. After reaching global success on their own terms, why throw away that freedom? And why do these ancient traditions love adopting former bad boys to advertise their message? Is this a genuine psychological escape from peak fame, or the greatest marketing strategy on earth? Let's stop pretending this is a purely logical, intellectual decision. When a celebrity hits peak fame, it's not enlightenment, it's a panic attack.
You can vibe with someone when they're really not there, so you just go through the motions for your own salvation. You explain to them about Islam and the way of Islam, how it is, wholeheartedly and truthfully. You know what I mean? Which there's no compulsion, there's no hatred. It's insane how different religions have different variations, and we're supposedly be the same under the same God, which is Allah. And it's a complex situation we deal with.
Look at what happens the second one of these guys drops a clip in a mosque or picks up a religious text. It triggers an absolute riot in the comments. On one side, you have millions of believers claiming him as their brand new trophy, defending his every move like he's immune to sin. On the other, critics screaming clout chase, calling it a fake PR stunt for views. And the algorithms? They absolute love it. Because in the modern internet economy, controversy gives you a quick spike. But turning to God? That unlocks something terrifying. An unstoppable digital militia that will fight, argue, and boost your engagement for life. It's not just a brand pivot. It's the ultimate digital immunity card.
She has converted to Islam and has changed her name. She took to Twitter saying she is proud to be Muslim. She also revealed she has changed her name to Shuhada David.
I used to present in front of a very different crowd, and I used to announce rock stars on stage and interview them and earn my living announcing music videos. And, had somebody told me at the height of my career that one day I will be standing in front of you at the Excel telling you about my journey to Islam, I would have said to them, they must be mad.
Look at the shift. When Sinéad O'Connor or Kristiane Backer walked away from the Western machine years ago, it cost them everything. Their careers were gutted. They were mocked, sidelined, and treated like social pariahs. Fast forward to today, and the entire incentive structure has inverted. Why? Because modern religious communities suffer from a massive collective insecurity complex. The second a Western celebrity, especially a controversial one, says the magic words, the internet doesn't just welcome them, it deifies them. They become immediate trophies, validation stamps. The crowd is so desperate for Western validation that they will instantly wipe clean a man's criminal record, forgive his scamming past, and elevate him to a moral authority overnight, just because he pledged allegiance to their flag. It's a toxic symbiotic transaction. The influencer gets a bulletproof digital army that defends them from cancellation, and the crowd gets a famous Western mascot to parade in front of their critics. It's not spiritual enlightenment, it's mutual exploitation.
The Roman and Greeks and Americans and Africans, now we're all the same. But at one time, these same deities, Jesus, Prophet, they were different gods. They got their religion from these gods. Because, I'm a Muslim, and I watched in Sumerian, they prayed like this too back then. That's probably where that came from. This and this and this, and on your knees. And I said, wow, that was Islam before Islam was thousands of years before it even existed.
Because when I started reading the Quran, one of the things that I woke up to was the Quran is full of directives to make you think, not to make you follow rituals, but to make you first of all think. So then it talks about, for instance, and I don't know any other scripture that does it to this degree, where it points you to the sun, it points you to the moon, it says, these are creations of God. And the night and the day is a miracle, and the fact that water falls and produces fruits and animals eat those.
Listen to how they talk about it. They frame basic, universal human contemplation, looking at the stars, questioning existence, seeking discipline, as if it's a rare, secret knowledge exclusive to their new identity. Every major philosophy on Earth tells you to look at the moon and reflect, but for the hyperego of a modern celebrity, standard self-help isn't enough. They don't just want peace, they want exclusivity. They want the intellectual credit of being different. Psychologically, it's the ultimate main character syndrome. By adopting a system that feels radical or strict to their Western peers, they position themselves not just as converts, but as enlightened whistleblowers. They aren't escaping their ego, they're just feeding it a far more sophisticated diet. If you carry deep-seated patriarchal instincts, if you crave rigid structure, absolute male authority, clear gender roles, and a tight-knit community that enforces them, modern Western liberal culture feels like pure chaos. It leaves you drifting, and that's where conservative religious spaces become magnetic. They don't offer vague mindfulness. They offer a fortress. They give you a brotherhood to lean on, and a clear hierarchy where your position is unquestioned. For a creator exhausted by the lawless, hyper-individualistic internet, surrendering to a hyper-structured patriarchal authority doesn't feel like losing freedom. It feels like coming home. They needed a script. Instead of taking their identity crisis to a therapist, they wrapped it in ancient morality, gave it a dress code, and called it a calling.